A girl potato and a boy potato had eyes for each other, and finally, they got married and had a little sweet potato, which they called Yam. Straight Yukon Gold right there. I heard this maybe 50 years ago, but it was Walter Cronkite instead of Brokaw. In another version, the girl potato wanted to marry Hitler, could have married a YouTuber. Slow clap. Mr. and Mrs. Potato didn't know that Tom Brokaw is a real spud. X200B. X200B. Edit grammar. Her dad sounds like a dictator. Tubular joke. Ah, Dale. I gave zero permission for my dirty laundry to be aired out on the inner tubes like this. Shame. I can see the appeal of this humor. Embarrassed smiley face. The rambling really would lend itself to a Norm Macdonald delivery. Now I'm sad I'll never hear it. A man is about to walk into a bar, when a noom holding a sign that reads alcohol is evil stops him. Meant to be none, didn't realize till after posting, and you can't edit in this sub. She was no noom, she was the bus driver. When I drink, I get drunk. When I get drunk, I sleep. When I sleep, I don't sin. Therefore, I'm drinking to get into heaven. Classic joke. Dave Allen told it well. Two priests holding placards, one says drink is the enemy, the other says love your enemy. It would make more sense if the person holding the sign wasn't a Catholic, whose religion literally requires the drinking of wine. That's a lot of effort just to get a free drink. When you copy pasta the joke from last week, you should have done the same with the title. A man went to the hospital to visit his mother-in-law, who was in serious condition. On the way back, the wife, very worried, asks, "So, honey, how's my mom doing?" A husband and wife had called her mom. "He fought with me again. I am coming to stay with you." Mom: "No dear, he must pay for his mistake. I am coming to stay with you." A friend of mine went to a Halloween party dressed in old lady drag. Purse, high heels, puffy wig, red lipstick, horn-rimmed cat-eye glasses. They asked him what his costume was supposed to be, and he said, "I'm your worst nightmare, your mother-in-law." He won first prize. Think about those poor Muslim 42 virgins as a challenge by itself, but 42 mothers-in-law? True that. At a public beach, a man decides to take a swim. "I guess you could keep doing it and just eat the balls every night to save money on dinner." The voice wasn't sure if he was ticklish, so they gave him 2 test tickles. "You've got a lot of balls to post this stupid joke here." Billy Preston. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. What do you do with an elephant with 3 him, and pitch to the rhino? Is this joke sponsored by a lobby of private beach owners? My testicles black? 0 versus 8. Christ. Can you imagine? E.T. the extra testicle. What a balls up. Double or nothing. He had 4. His genitals. He had only 1 penis, but he had 2 by 2 balls. He could be the magic 8 ball. You could extend this joke to how things went with his missus that night. Like a bad movie. I wanna know how it ends. This is so fucked up, lol. Doctor, the results are back and you've got a triple dose gonorrhea, chlamydia, and onomatopoeia. Patient: what's onomatopoeia? Doctor, you also have Ed-Zachary disease. Patient: what is Ed-Zachary disease? Doctor, it's when your face looks Ed-Zachary like your ass. Doctor: Mr. Wells, you have an STD and Alzheimer's. Patient: that's okay. At least I don't have an STD. Well, just as long as it's not an STD. Haha, smiley face. What is gonorrhea? It's a rhea that now disappeared. When I got up and urinated this morning, there was onomatopoeia in the toilet. So this is how my sex life ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper. Good one. Lol, need help understanding this. Doctor, I'm afraid it's gonorrhea. Patient: well, I'd rather choose rhea. God damn it. What do I even say to that? I almost don't want to admit it made me chuckle. Dude. How do you ask for sex? Submit a request through the HR portal with at least 2 weeks of advance notice. The traditional way. I contact my attorney, who in turn contacts my wife's attorney, and things progress at a respectable pace from wife and I have always enjoyed a certain level of formality in our marriage. Can we have sex? Show off your resplendent feathers while doing a nimble dance. X200B. And this is more true than it appears. Did I ever tell you about the time I went backpacking through Western Europe? Can I book you for an hour at 9 p.m. please? My room number is 421 and please wear a slutty outfit. How do you turn a rectangle into a line? I'm sorry. That joke landed flat. Angry upvote at this for sure. Took a minute to shape up in my mind. Now that's what I call a one-liner. You crushed it. That is a really bad angle. You totally wrecked it. Probably wrecked an angle too. Unfold it. How is this done? Through text only. How do you make spoilers? Squish. Or angry upvote. Now that is a punchline. Well done. You can only find this joke online. Cuddly GTFO. If you were a rectangle, you'd be a cute one. That joke went to the emergency room under extreme duress. They tried everything they could, but the rectangle just ended up flatlining. Well, technically a line is just a very flat rectangle. So basically you turn a rectangle in another rectangle, but thinner. Thank you. I laughed so hard. Oh, for crying out loud, ha 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 ha, take my up dude, ha 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 ha. Men of Reddit, how often do you guys get compliment from women? I'm not sure what are you all talking about never getting compliments. I don't want to brag, but I get compliment at least twice a life. Let's just say we remember it for a long time when it does happen. Every day. From my grandmother. I don't even remember the last time I got one that wasn't from my mom, grandma, or my nurse coworkers. So not often at all. Last one I got was 2 years ago, the one before that was exactly 3 years and 4 months before. So fairly often, I guess. You guys are getting compliments? Unless I'm talking to my mom over the phone, I can't remember the last time a woman complimented me. Southern charm. Bless your heart. A New Yorker is visiting the South and goes into a boutique. The sales lady hears the accent and asks, "So where y'all from?" The snotty New Yorker replies, "I'm from where we don't end our sentences with prepositions." Sales lady says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Where y'all from, bitch?" How nice. Equates to fuck you. Original version I heard was 3 bells rocking on the porch. The tagline was to teach us to say, my, how fine instead of saying fuck you, bitch. Would be better to lead with bless his heart. Isn't that precious? What a fucking idiot. And who gives a fuck? An oldie and a goodie. When my farmer neighbor told me that 130 years ago, it was, well, isn't that nice? Good afternoon. That's nice. Ha 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 ha. Till an underachieving Princeton student wrote a term paper describing how to make a nuclear bomb. It was seized by the FBI. I'd be underachieving if my homework kept getting seized. The FBI seized it sounds so much better than the dog ate it. I thought you could download plans already. I hate how the article describes him as underachieving just because he was failing. Dude's in Princeton, busting his ass, betting the amount of effort he put in didn't reflect it as great until that paper. That's the only quarrel I have with this paper. It was the gun-type bomb. Not that impressive by today's standards. It says you're underachieving. What's going on in school? My goddamn schoolworks keep getting seized by the FBI. Big deal. It's not that hard. You get some plutonium, make it into a ball, surround it with C4 and doink KBC and BCRR. Till Jaguar cars were known as SS cars until 1945, after which they changed their name for obvious reasons. Why should I change? He's the one that sucks. Stood for Swallow sidecars. Because they used to make sidecars. Notice how they waited to see who won first though. Couldn't just say the SS stood for super sexy the whole time and call it a day? The Swallow Sidecar Company was founded in 1922 by 2 motorcycle enthusiasts, William Lyons and William Walmsley. In 1934, Walmsley elected to sell out in order to buy the Swallow business but not the company, which was liquidated. Lyons formed SS Cars, finding new capital by issuing shares to the public. Getting lightning stripes put on your Beamer was still okay. Good old sports saloon cars. SS Cars just doesn't ring the same as hack. The original name has nothing to do with the Nazis, and Op is being willfully disingenuous with the title. Till Roald Dahl wrote the Twits because of his profound disgust for beards. Dahl's disgust at beards was the inspiration for Mr. Twit. As he stated, he penned the Twits in an effort to do something against beards. His biographer Michael Rosen recalls the first time the pair met. Dahl leaned across to Rosen's son Joe and said of his father's beard, "It's probably got this morning's breakfast in it. And last night's dinner. And old bits of rubbish, any old stuff that he's come across. You might even find a bicycle wheel in it." Most of his books are about something he disliked. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was his dislike of fat people, people that chewed gum, and whiny little kids. Not making that up, or reading into it, it's pretty well documented. The Witches, we have wigs and long noses. Etc. etc. Great storyteller, but a person disgusted by a lot of things. Till between 1973 and 2011, sperm counts have declined by 50-60 among men from North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. Also interesting and different is a positive correlation to pesticide exposure and reduced quality of sperm. X200b. We may be experiencing a reduction in number of sperm and quality of sperm, resulting in more infertility. X200b. Edit hijacking my post to post a correction. The correct article for the main post is this: raw doggins back on the menu, boys. Plastics. The average North American, European, Australian and New Zealander is older and fatter than in 1973. Both of which affect sperm count. Came here for the jokes about Op's mom. Left bitterly disappointed. Well, it doesn't show because there's so many friggin' people everywhere I go. How much sperm do you need? Till in 1990 NASA turned the Galileo spacecraft towards Earth to look for signs of life. It's a sanity check. Like you clicking the barbecue tool to make sure it's working properly before risking your steak falling down. This thread is just Redditors making the same sad joke. Found life still seeking intelligent life though. They call this a life? Well, that would have been the best way to test it. There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Buzz Lightyear. That's the day NASA discovered there's no intelligent life in Earth. NASA and now, we will turn the spacecraft around toward us to look for signs of intelligent life. Galileo, no signs of intelligent life. Listen here you little st. Jed Bartlett just came in his pants. It's quite fascinating. While they were able to find multiple signs of life, they found nothing to suggest intelligent life. The search continues to this day. Life is here. Intelligent life? Nope. Till in 2018 multiple Virginia towns banned trick-or-treating for anyone over the age of 12. For example, according to the Chesapeake, Virginia City Code in 2018, violators could face a fine and up to 6 months in jail. What are you in for? Trick-or-treating over the age of 12. Did they ban Christmas presents for preteens and teenagers as to kill the fun? Virginia. This kind of thing is so lame. What is with this demonization of big kids? It just robs them of any constructive outlet they have and drives them to misbehave. If they're too young to go to a Halloween party at a bar, let them get candy. Till the most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated was over 3,000x more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima. It was large enough to completely level the entire state of Rhode Island. Fun fact: we stopped building bigger bombs because the explosive power is dispersed in 3 dimensions and much of that power is wasted superheating the upper atmosphere. Instead we switched to MIRV rockets which pop open and disperse as many as 10 independent warheads which spread a similar explosive power across a broader flat area than any single bomb would cover. The blast wave circled the globe 3 times, with the first one taking 36 hours and 27. Wonder if he knew the exact date time of detonation. Could you predict the moment it passed by? Stand outside in some place like Saskatchewan or the N Territory and feel that breeze like yup, that was it. Rhode Island is already pretty level. The highest point is like 800 feet high. The number of people born in the same year as you is always decreasing. I think you mean the number of living people. Otherwise your statement would not be correct. Pretty sure the amount of people born in '79 hasn't changed since 1980 began. Not always in the year you were born. It would mostly be increasing unless you were born at 11:59 on December 31st. The number of people born the same year as you never changes. The number of living people born the same year as you is always decreasing. I strive to be the last one standing. This made me anxious lol. Except if you're born in 2023, you ain't never heard of my special go to my birth year only time machine. Actually, it's staying the same. Only changes during the year you were born. Never changes once the year is over. I play by Highlander rules. The only thing worse than no internet is slow internet. You say that until you only need enough signal to send that one critical email out. My grandma was paying $80 a month for DSL. She doesn't even use internet, she just wanted it to encourage her family to visit her. She was getting 2 megabits per second down. ISP screwing over my grandma, and grandma had no idea her internet was basically unusable. I completely disagree. Any internet is better than no internet. The only thing worse than no internet is the internet. I'm old enough to remember pages on the internet loading images line by line. There was something to be said for the sense of anticipation of knowing any minute now a nipple would appear. And what's worse than slow internet? Unstable internet. Nah bro, that slow internet makes you able to play the game, but with no ads as well. 2 mischievous boys, aged 8 and 10, are known for causing all sorts of trouble in their town. Their mother, hoping to discipline them, asks a preacher to speak to them. The preacher agrees, but he asks to see the boys individually. A man's putting his son to bed, when he looks up and asks, "Dad, is God really everywhere?" "Of course he is, son." "Is he in the house?" "Sure he's in the house, he's everywhere." "Is he in this room?" "Sure, he's in the room, he's in the house, he's everywhere." "Is he in this cup?" "Yes, my boy. He's in the cup, he's in the room, he's in the house, he's everywhere." "Aha," the boy yelled, closing his hand over the rim of the cup. Got him. What's a situation or condition that nobody understands, until they're in it? Being homeless. Chronic pain and mental illness such as depression or anxiety, for example. Being in an emotionally and financially abusive marriage or other relationship. If anyone else whom I cared about was going through what I went through throughout my marriage, I would have told them to run. I didn't realize how messed up my situation was until I finally broke free of it. I can't believe I put up with what I put up with for as long as I put up with it. So many. But one that speaks to me is anxiety. The word gets used a lot, and feeling anxious is something that all people experience on a normative level. That normative anxiety which healthy people experience is way too easily and often conflated with anxiety on a mental illness level. It's apples and oranges and absolutely awful. What's the dumbest thing you did in your life? Drove home so drunk that I had to close one eye to see. Nothing happened, no accident, no cops, but it was so goddamn stupid I quit drinking after that. I woke up the next day, thought about what I did and how much it went against who I want to be. Never again. Went 180 miles per hour on a bike. Got the death wobble at 150. Didn't stop until I slowed down to about 85. Scariest and dumbest moment of my life. I no longer ride. Scared the passion right out of me. I pulled into a parking lot and sat there thankful for about 45 minutes just soaking in the sun. Never found a passion and thus never committed to anything. No idea how people seem to just know what they want to do for the rest of their lives. Which hated celebrity doesn't deserve the hate? Robert Pattinson used to be widely hated before everyone realized he is actually to him for shaping his career the way he did. Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best. They played young Anakin Skywalker and Jar Jar in Phantom Menace and were absolutely railed by the public. Lloyd has a sad story, entering depressing and drugs use, and as far as I know hasn't pulled out yet. It's hard to say it's a direct result of the internet bullying, but it definitely didn't help. George Michael. Before he died he was hounded by the British press for having consensual sex with men, albeit a bit risky in public if I'm remembering all accounts. A solid lovely man who gave away plenty to charities anonymously. You can tell a lot about a person based on what part of their pants were out first. I'm going to need a list of the possibilities and what each one means. That's no shit. I've done auto body repair for 30 years and most of the knees in my right leg were big holes. When I was a stay-at-home mom, my pants always wore out in the knees because I was always kneeling to tie shoes and talk to my young kids and their friends on their level. Thighs. I walk everywhere. You're right, my assless chaps are wearing out at the knees. I always wear out the inner thighs. Yes, I am a fat bitch. Ha. I wear assless chaps just to throw you off. I'm British and this post had me shook. Illinois electrician here. My rear pockets always give way because of tools carried in them. And crotch area. Doubtful because of the tools carried there. Neutral face. You know we have hit a technological wall with cell phone improvements when the only thing Apple pitches about their new phone is that it's made of titanium. Built-in titanium, but everyone still uses a cover. When I was a 9 years old obsessed with Blade I would have been very hyped about a titanium phone. But they also improved them by increasing the price. And it'll still get scratched up when you drop it from pocket height. Can we put hologram tech in smartphones now? I was wondering about that. They always advertise their new phones with the newest processor and this amazing camera, etc, etc. The only thing I ever see advertised about this new one is it's titanium. Okay, cool. Still too expensive. My 12 is still working just fine. As it is, I fully admit Samsung makes a much better quality phone and definitely a better camera. I just loathe Android OS, which is why I still use iPhone.